Okay, what we're going to address today, this is actually spurred on by a lot of questions that were asked in the comments about I love the style, or I'm trying to use the style, coming from different angles. But the same question that's been asked is, how do we apply this when there's a height and reach advantage? What are the keys to doing that? What do you do for it? It's evidently very confusing when people are trying to get into this. And I can understand if it's a new form for you, if it's a new style, I totally understand. So what we're going to do here is we're going to try to give you some elements that are going to allow you to see how well it works. And you'll see that it actually falls right in line with what we've already been teaching. But it deviates from what a lot of people believe they need to do as far as facing an opponent with longer arms or reach advantage or height advantage. How do I get to this guy? How do I make this work if he's so much taller than me? Now, we got Andre and Mike, and if we stand in here, let's say we both get into our stance, right? Now, Mike, I want you to extend your jab straight out, right? And just kind of walk in until you're in reach. Just walk, 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 boom, like that. Now, if he has the reach here and Andre extends his jab and he falls short, right? So now this is what is naturally considered a reach advantage, all right? Now, back up. The thing is, it's only a reach advantage when they're in this position, okay? What I mean by that is if they were fighting and Andre were to step here and grab an angle. Now, if he comes in and fights here and he can make contact, and if Mike is still sitting here, his long arms are no longer an advantage at this point. It's only an advantage when you are lined up head to head, okay? That's one of the keys that I want people to understand, because what happens is the conventional wisdom, conventional method, people are taught when I'm here and I know this guy has long arms, I got to move my head and duck and dodge until I can walk my way into getting into reach. So basically what you're saying is, I want you to maneuver to get it in, and I want him to play his role and stand still. Doesn't really work that way. Okay? This is why you'll see a lot of guys get beat and blame it on the reach advantage or the height advantage. It's not really the reach advantage and the height advantage that beat them. It was the method they employed to overcome that reach and height advantage. Okay? And that's no knock on anyone, because it is widely taught to come up with different kinds of tactics, blocking and walking in behind your hands or pushing your hands out in front of you. I've seen all kinds of things that people use to hopefully allow them to get in closer and distract the taller fighter or the longer armed fighter enough so they can get in and freaking start their offense, okay? If it benefits you to do that, I honestly am going to tell you that's mainly because of the guy you're fighting rather than the method that you're employing. Because he has to play his role. The minute you start to try to get inside and you can get over his hands and come inside, he has to play his role and stand there and allow that to happen. So I'm saying we don't want to be in a position where we are needing your opponent to play his role in order for us to play our game, to run our game. We want to be able to establish it regardless. So we want to use the tools that we bring to fight. And that is, when he's standing in front of us here, we want to be able to shift off at the angles. And now he has to adjust. When he adjusts to that, we go right back in and we do what we have to do. Use your feet to get off the doggone line. If we looked at this before, when you're looking at this, hold your hand straight out, Mike. Boom. This right here is that's the danger zone. And now you're telling this fighter to bob and weave inside this danger zone until you get close enough to punch and close enough to score. So we want to get away from that. So what we're doing is eliminating fighting in this danger zone. We want to shift over to the gaps. There you go. And now if he moves this danger zone back on you, boom. Yeah, you're getting off of that. Slide in this way, slide under it. But you don't want to have to feel as though you have to come straight down the pike, get into the one door that the man is guarding, and it's fortified because of his long reach and his arms, okay, and height. You can actually reach a taller fighter from an angle than you could trying to reach over his arms, past his arms, or through his arms, coming right down the middle, and think that you can get in and out of there and be unscathed. That says more about the man you're fighting than it does for you, all right? Says more against the man you're fighting than it does for the opponent that is actually utilizing it, okay? So I hope this works for you. I hope this answers a lot of the questions. And if you watch the other videos that we have about the angles and how to run this style off of angles and moving your feet first, now maybe that makes a lot more sense, and we don't deviate from that when you come in here and you find yourself facing opponents that are taller with a lot more reach, okay? Leave your comments. We like to get back and see how well this went over, and we can kind of fill in the blanks if we have to for any of your questions, all right? Everybody was taller than me. Because I was fighting at 175. No, it was 178 was the weight class. I walked around at 175. And I didn't cut weight. I ain't cutting weight. I'm gonna stay right here. Fight right here. So I'm freaking 6 feet on a good day. Everybody I was fighting was freaking 6'2", 6'3", with alien arms. Seemed like, I'm like, damn, another one? Every time we go to weigh in, I'm like, dang, come on, another one? You know, everybody was there, was taller than me. So but they were all, like I said, like 190, 195, cutting down to 178, you know, which is what usually happens. Most guys that was walking around at 175, 174, where I was, they were cutting down to 165. They weren't fighting yet. So I see a lot of the 165 guys that were closer to my height, you know, closer to my dimensions. But I was fighting at 178, so I just had to go in there and deal with it, you know. But there's ways around it, so you just have to be understanding how to get there.